I'm going to demonstrate how to achieve an aged copper look to plastic piping. Step 1 is to spray the pipe with plastic primer. For the next step, I'm going to spray the pipe with a coarse texture paint. This will roughen the surface of the plastic. I'm going to use a piece of card to protect certain areas which I want to remain smooth. I'm now going to spray a layer of fine texture paint over the top of the coarse texture paint. This can go over the whole piece. The purpose of the first few coats is purely to add texture to the plastic. I'm now going to cover all of this with a copper spray. The copper spray produces a really nice shiny coat, but this looks too new and a little bit artificial to me. What I want to do now is apply some techniques to age the copper. I'm going to cover the piece in a brown stain. This will darken up the whole piece and also accumulate along the edges of the joints to make them stand out more. A lot of the copper shine is still coming through the wash, even though I've done 2 layers. So I'm now going to do a gentle spray with a brown paint over the top. The next step is to dry brush the piece with a copper paint, focusing on the high points. Here's the piece after dry brushing. I'm now going to add some verdigris staining to the piece. I've made a light green coloured paint by mixing titanium white and emerald green acrylics. This I've dabbed around the joints and low points on the piece to make it look as if it has been oxidised. I've gone over the light green patches with a dark green wash to add extra depth to the oxidised patches. I've done a little bit more dry brushing on the raised portions just to make them stand out a little bit more using a bright copper colour. I've added a fine dusting of this green texture paint to the piece, focusing on the underside to bring even more depth to the oxidisation. Here's the completed piece.